Hello everyone and welcome to my live stream right now. Thought I'd jump on and do a couple of readings. If you're interested in getting a reading, as you can see below, you'll see my Cash App and all that information. But I thought I'd jump right into the mix and kind of like talk about what's going on in the ethers right now. Definitely when it comes to the energies that are currently being rendered, it's all about implementation for a lot of individuals and a lot of persons out in the collective. All right, if you guys see me looking over here randomly or around, it's because I'm trying to acknowledge my TikTok audience. If you guys don't know, I'm actively on TikTok, so if you're wanting to see more content or more live readings, you can always go to my TikTok. That information is in the bio if you look below, if you're on Twitch. All right, so without any further ado, show chat video. All right, excuse the zit on my nose as well too. But I'm gonna go ahead and start the live for here. But yeah, I'm interested in knowing, yo, stop playing with me today, literally. All right, let me, hold on a second, you guys. So there is a lot going on with a lot of individuals within the collective, I feel like when it comes to, you know, everyday kind of living, I feel like it's day by day that people are getting closer to the renders and accomplishments that they've been striving for. I know. So I know for myself, think of this time as very similar to 2013, 2014. This is around the time that a lot of things started to get into place. A lot of things started to get into actualization. So think of the anticipation before you shoot off into a particular stratosphere, or in this case, experience within your kind of like life. So definitely for a lot of persons, it's just really understanding stillness, but also appropriately kind of gauging exactly what is being induced by that stillness, so that when action is taking place, you actually, you know, act so that you're not stuck in a recurring loop of, you know, indecisiveness, which then leads to stagnation, which then leads to, you know, nothing happening, you know. So hold on one second, you guys. I don't even think people can see that, bro. Let me put it here. Yeah? No. Here. So I want them to see the card still. Make this a little bit smaller. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a 2-for-1 right now. I can't even 2-for-1, but I'm gonna go ahead and Eight of Cups. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and read for the water signs right now. I'm gonna read for Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces. We're gonna start off with Pisces, because I feel like, yeah, I feel like for a lot of my Pisces out there, there's been a level of lux. So I think there's been a stasis of you kind of just relaxing or being in a lush environment that's kind of maybe inducing some stagnation when it comes to, you know, not really doing what needs to be done. Yeah, definitely get a sense for my Pisces out there, like there is a sense of clarity that's been brought about by either like a message or confirmation as to what it is you've been asking for. So this could be you applying for different jobs, or you waiting for like an approval for something, but there's definitely a sense of confirmation that has been brought about by some level of communication, whether that be through internet, through email, through like a conversation with an individual, but definitely getting a sense of clarity. What you do with that clarity is up to you, star card. So definitely a sense of clarity and direction. I mean, it doesn't get more directive than the star card. So I'm going to double down on that confirmation via email or via kind of like internet conversation with my Pisces placements. This is really kind of being given kind of like a directive as to where you're wanting to go. So where you're wanting to go, but not exactly knowing exactly the location. So think of it as, you want to go to a tropical, kind of like beachy, warmy vibe, but you don't know which beach. Is it going to give Thailand? Is it going to give Jamaica? Is it going to give fucking Hawaii? It just really depends on what entices you. But the main objective that's been reached is finding a kind of purpose. And within that purpose, wanting warm weather, you'll find which purpose most aligns with what it is that you're wanting to induce in your experience. So, yeah, I feel like there's been kind of a Page of Wands, a kind of spark of passion or a spark of kind of drive on wanting to accomplish something or some things. So that's a very kind of, as I said, spark. So depending on what you do with that spark is what's going to turn it into a flame, a brush fire, or just another spark. We out here, y'all. We out here. What? And my neighborhood don't even give all of that, y'all. I promise you. I don't know what the commotion is outside, but excuse that. As I was saying, a spark, depends on your effort and the material that you're using to kind of ignite. What are you going to do with that spark? Are you just going to kind of like let it waste, or are you going to apply it to something that's going to create a like brush fire or like a flame? Sparks are one thing. Depending on what you're trying to light, it could be a nice dry piece of wood, or it could be a damp fucking log. Are you going to consistently try to spark something that is damp, or are you going to look at what's in front of you, look at the material, and see what is most conducive to what it is that you're trying to achieve? If you're trying to achieve a fire, more likely than not, using a drier piece of wood would suffice. And sometimes people's situations and circumstances are wet logs, y'all. Wet logs. So it's really kind of depending on your effort or your kind of like time. Honestly, time being a perception humans utilize to kind of like perceive infinity, but depending on like your care, will that log light eventually? I mean, yeah, the wet one, but are you willing to put the effort in for that impossible feat to be possible? Or are you looking for a more conducive kind of experience where you're getting from one space to another, instead of using one's time to kind of like do or put effort into something that isn't going to suffice your journey? But yeah, that is for my Pisces. I'm gonna go ahead and pull one more card for my Pisces. Lovers, value. This is not so much a romantic situation, but more kind of a self-love kind of thing. I think for my Pisces out there, I feel like self-love comes from like a sense of value for oneself. And unconditional self-love comes from accepting oneself as they are, you know. So the Pisces out there, I think you need to follow the direction that one has been given and not be stuck in kind of not be stuck in a lullaby of wishing, you know. Apply those wishings into mechanics that you can utilize to kind of like actualize what it is you're trying to do. You know, I feel like for a lot of persons, you know, they get addicted to affirmation corn. You know, affirmation corn to me is you grouped up with your homeboys, grouped up with your homegirls, and y'all just talking about what you coulda, woulda, shoulda, and what you're going to do. In actuality, nothing's going to be done. It's almost as if it's kind of like an affirmation sesh that gets you through the next day where you don't feel as unproductive or unfulfilled as the previous day. When in all actuality, what you're experiencing is just a happy meal. You know, something that's not going to carry you over because there's no tangible action being applied by what things that you're affirming and what you're saying. You know, so yeah, I feel like now is the time for my Pisces placements to shoot their shot, quite honestly. Shoot your shot, y'all. Don't be stuck in the bubble, bitch. Shoot your shot, okay? So I think I'm gonna use another deck for my so that was for Pisces. And that is marker. We'll figure it out. Pisces. We'll use this as a marker. That is for me to know where to put the timestamp, y'all. All right, I promise there's a method to my madness. All right, so let's go ahead and that was for Pisces. And for you guys who are wanting that like full reading, you have to just go to my YouTube. The link is in my bio and on TikTok, and the link is in the bio on my other streaming platforms. Okay, so who we have next? Who do we have next? Who do we have next? Who do we have next? 2, 4, 6, 7. Yeah. So we're gonna do Cancer next. Cancer, Cancer, Cancer. Cancer. If you guys are watching me on TikTok, if you could just like the live, that'd be amazing. Honestly. Let me see something. All right. Okay, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump right back into the mix. Just gotta do this. Okay. So now, I keep forgetting that I'm streaming on YouTube. Okay, so you guys, we're doing Cancer right now. I feel like for my Cancer placements, you guys need to rest. Rest. Cancer placements, resting time is essential. I think a lot of times when you overexert yourself, you don't allow yourself the room to kind of like, you know, recuperate so that you are at your best, so you can do your best. You guys are always on your always on your kind of fitness tip. So you're at your kind of like peak kind of physical like exertion when you're like fully rested, you know? So yeah, Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands. Queen of Swords, Queens of Wands. So I feel like whatever it is that you're wanting to articulate or say, I think you understand that you've gotten the rest, or you're wanting the rest needed for you to kind of have this needed conversation. Yeah, I feel like this is for masculine energy. This is the King of Pentacles inversed. So this is a conversation that you're wanting to have with a individual of masculine expression or energy. Getting earth signs, yeah. I feel like an opportunity is coming around where you're going to be able to kind of vocalize this. I just feel like in the past you've kind of not taken those opportunities to really vocalize. I feel like someone's presenting themselves as a tangible, kind of reliable individual. But time and time again, I feel like you're seeing that what's being presented isn't really exactly what it is. There's a lack of work ethic when it comes to what's being vocalized by this individual, Cancer. So let me see. Yeah, I feel like for a lot of my Cancers, Six of Cups, this is a nostalgia. This is a nostalgic kind of energy. So this could be you're dealing with either a Leo. This is giving Leo energy, because Cancers tend to, you know, gravitate towards those placements. I feel like this is someone that you've known for a minute. So that could be what you're utilizing to keep this dynamic ongoing. Or it could be you falling into some kind of like, you know, pregnancy. So this could be the conversation. Could be the rest that's needed. I've been getting a lot of this kind of readings for my water signs. My water signs, especially my Scorpios and my Cancers. You guys have been getting readings when it comes to you making some really tough decisions. And when I say tough, it's giving, you know. What are you pro? Are you pro this? Are you pro that? Are you, you know, these are like decisions that are tough. So I understand the Four of Swords popping up, because I mean, you definitely want to fucking rest and get a sense of like what the fuck's going on before you make a decision as, you know, monumental as that. But what else for Cancer? Yeah, Hermit card. The Hermit card came out. So I think you guys really need to gain some introspection by some levels of isolation. You know, I feel like there needs to be no sense of communication right now. I think there needs to be kind of some introspection so that a direction of clarity can be met. Three of Wands. So yes, I think you're wanting to kind of like get over that kind of hurdle that is a circumstance. The circumstance being what it is that you're trying to create, whether you create it or not, whether you let go of this opportunity or new kind of life experience, or do you allow yourself to kind of like realign to what it is that you authentically want. So the situation could be something that you want or you don't want. You know, you're just really kind of understanding and looking at your existence at a bigger scope, just so that the decisions that you do make are conducive to what it is you're trying to achieve, which I would presume would be like a ideal experience here on this planet. But for my Cancers, you guys, I'm gonna pull on my card. Maybe clarify with the other deck, but let's see. Yeah, I feel like you guys are definitely evaluating your destinies. I feel like you like Pisces reading. It's like it's like understanding the spark that you're feeling that's going to ignite your passions. And this could be what it is that you're kind of trying to birth, or it could be you kind of rationalizing what you authentically want and seeing whether or not this is something that you're wanting to kind of like experience, so that you can align yourself to what it is that you feel purposeful for, you know. So yeah, I think this is kind of tied into like a financial situation too, whether this is financially conducive to what it is that you're wanting. And Spirit is just kind of letting you know that understand what is on your table, see whether or not it's reciprocal or not, and see if it's conducive. Because what you're experiencing is going to be something that's going to be a preview of what could possibly be if this dynamic between this person or situation continues. Okay? Yeah. Definitely. I feel like you're definitely going to be an opportunity for my Cancers to really kind of get back out there and really kind of utilize the new sense of emotional value with this new ideology. But it's just really kind of getting over the things that didn't work out and really allowing yourself to kind of not cry over spilt milk, but see the cups that you still have available to you to nourish and kind of cultivate and grow. All right. That's confirmation, y'all. We are rounding it up for my, what was that? That was Cancer. So now let's do Scorpio. Scorpio. Yeah, I definitely get a sense, Scorpio, y'all have been really scoping out and seeing what is the most conducive thing for your growth and evolution, quite honestly. Definitely getting a sense of that for the Three of Wands. What else? Let's see what else here. A journey somewhere, heading out somewhere. In reverse, Magician. What is that? I feel like for my Scorpios, you guys were kind of like manifesting some kind of destination or somewhere, and in doing so, I feel like you're not taking an opportunity that you've literally created or manifested yourself. You know, let me grab this other deck for clarification. Kasaf Bahati. I don't know what that is. Okay. Let me get some clarification for this Magician card inverse and this Ace of Wands inverse. Why is that for Scorpio? What are they? Yeah, this is a relationship. So I think for my Scorpios, you guys have been kind of stuck on manifesting maybe a partnership with a particular individual, or wanting to kind of like reconcile with the individual. Why is this inverse though? Spilt milk, mouth. for my Scorpios, you guys are manifesting two different things, two possibilities, you know. And I don't even think it's possibilities. I think it's like two kind of like imposing forces within oneself. It's one side advocating for evolution and growth and wanting to transcend and wanting to kind of like enter a new phase in their life, and another part is trying to kind of make fetch happen, when in actuality it not happening has given Scorpios an idea or kind of like a revelation as to what not to do for this next incoming era. So it's very much a push-pull kind of war with who my Scorpios are becoming and who they're kind of like leaving behind as it relates to their expression and themselves, you know. So this is really telling me it's someone, for some of my Scorpio placements out here, it's just kind of, it's wanting to manifest somebody back into your vicinity, you know. What's the context of? Yeah, I feel like you've been. This is given kind of like affirmations, kind of like writing, kind of like thinking, wanting them to come back. So it's very kind of honey jarry. Honestly, what is that? Yeah, there's definitely a sense of, this is like masculine energy. So this is going out to my masculines, my masculine expressive Scorpios. This is see, I can't even get it out. This is a masculine expressive Scorpios. So I'm just like, this is for my masculines for sure. Y'all really be thinking dudes don't be doing these things. You get me? As a seasoned reader, you know, I've gotten a lot of requests from dudes out here who have asked for a lot of kind of crazy things. I, for one, don't do works as such. I am more in the realms of divination and perspective. But it doesn't stop people from like hitting me up. So, you know, I want you guys to get out of the realms of thinking that people don't kind of like do these things, you know. The inverse chariot stuck. Yeah, this is Spirit. What is this? Let me grab this other deck because I want to see what the hell this is for my Scorpio placements out here, because I don't know, it's giving kind of, you guys are on some, you know, trying to kind of change somebody's will, you know, when in actuality you could be like stopping, you could be getting in the universe's way. And you know, y'all Scorpios, y'all love to be put in a corner, girl. A corner, and then once y'all in the corner, y'all gonna do the same decision y'all was going to do before y'all even got into the corner. You know, so I think utilizing suffering as a means of validating whether or not something is actual or real is kind of masochistic for yourself. So I feel like for my Scorpios out here, y'all need to chill. But Spirit, what is the overall? Okay. Page of Coins. King of Cups. I think for my Scorpios out here, you guys need to really focus on the things that you're trying to kind of like build, things that you're trying to kind of like, the ideas that you're having. When it comes to actualizing tangible things, this could be you applying for jobs, you kind of taking a business idea and trying to kind of like make it into something. There's a sense of, you know, utilizing that mechanic to kind of lead you to some level or person of emotional intelligence. You know, so I don't know if for my Scorpios, some of my Scorpios out here, you've been given a means to kind of maybe work with an individual, work with someone who, you know, evokes a level of emotional maturity. There could be like a sense of intimidation when it comes to my Scorpios who are watching and reading for this, watching for this reading. But I think the universe has directed you in that particular way, the star card, for you to kind of, like get towards the direction that you've been wanting. But this isn't like a first time experience for my Scorpio placements out here. Y'all stay in different eras, and when y'all enter y'all new eras, it's like the last era didn't exist. So, you know, it's always that hurdle of getting over that fucking cliff that gets you to that next era. But once you're over there, you Scorpio placements are one of the fastest placements to like adjust when it comes to shifts, huge monumental shifts, like ego deaths. You know, they're ruled by Pluto. Pluto's all about death, underworld themes, like Phoenix energy. You know, so it's Scorpios, as much as they fear change, they're the quickest to embrace it and like transition into it once they pass that like hurdle, you know. And what bigger hurdle it is than the implied death of one's old self, you know. It's Plutarian energy. It's like the scariest thing to die, but there's such a better or a different experience beyond that, and that correlates to all aspects of life, you know. Utilize these zodiacs as a means of articulating energy of expressions, you guys. Don't be so like kind of on the nose of Leo this and like, you know, these things have different connotations as to where they're being spoken on or contextualized in, you know. Like a Leo house and a Leo sun and a Leo moon, you know. Leo is the baseline, but putting them in those different places gives it a particular kind of twist or a particular kind of like changing. So yeah, Scorpio, y'all reading was a little bit longer than expected, but I digress. I feel like I always have a soft spot for y'all, but all right, I'm seeing a lot of fire in my pulls. So that was Scorpio. Who we doing next? But yeah, if you're in the chat, if you could go ahead and double tap the screen for me, that would be amazing. I don't know if people are talking to me on here, but I don't think any. Hold on, let me see if I can enter text for chat. Hi everyone. Okay. Hold on, y'all. I want to check and see if everything is good. All right, so we're still good. We're still live. All right, guys. So if you're in my chat right now, all right. So we're still good. We're still live. All right, guys. So if you're in my chat right now, all right. So we're still good. We're still live. Sorry about that, y'all. All right, so guys. So if you're in my chat on TikTok, go ahead and if you drop your sun, moon, or rising in the chat, I'll go ahead and pull a card for you, just as a like a buffer until my next set of readings. But if you guys aren't, I'm on YouTube as well too. You guys can kind of if you guys write the sun, moon, and rising in the YouTube chat, I will read for you, period. So come to the YouTube, write in the chat your sun, moon, or rising, and then I will do a reading for you. All right. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. I hear you. All right, you guys. So until somebody does that, I'm gonna go ahead and jump right back into the readings. I think I'm gonna do the earth signs now. We're gonna start with Virgo because the Hermit card just popped out when I just did that shuffle. All right, so this is for my Virgos. All right, let me put my marker here. All right. Okay, so Virgos. I feel for my sun placement Virgos. I feel like for Virgo sun placements, it's probably the hardest to kind of allow yourself to break your perceptions of what you think that is, and then allowing those new kind of like senses of value and kind of pattern recognition to kind of allow you to authentically gauge the situation outside of an established pattern. I feel like my Virgos who have been fighting the transitional phase that is existence right now. You get me? The patterns that aren't really applying at this time. So it's really kind of gauging the scenarios right now and really aligning one's like prowess of kind of like detection of pattern and what needs to be fixed, and applying that to kind of the new paradigm that's coming in, because a lot of what's transpiring right now is anomalies that are really unexplained when it comes to how to create a boundary for this. And Virgos are one thing, they are hall monitors. They like set of rules and they like to know how to work within those rules. They also like to work within the loopholes that are within those rules. You get me? It's very mercurial, Mercury energy. We're currently, I believe we're exiting Mercury retrograde. Okay, so I feel like for a lot of my Virgos and Geminis especially, I see a very heavy sense of really studying the reality that is and not basing it so much on the things that you've read or the patterns that you've recognized in the past. Because as you know, and as this kind of new dawn of Aquarius energy is showing, it's really kind of a sense of, authenticity, and when you don't have an authentic outlook of the playing field that you're working within, what you are creating when it comes to rules and delegations are off the pretense of a fabrication or a condensation of like what it is that is actually happening, So now we're entering kind of an era where we're seeing a lot of like this play out when it comes to titles. And I'm a doctor. Okay, you're a doctor, but that doesn't tell me whether or not you're a good person. All it tells me is that you work within the medical field. A good and bad is at the matter of the person asking the question and who they're asking it to. I can ask a head of a hospital if that is a good doctor, and to them a good doctor might be someone who consistently brings patients in and has them coming in every month, which builds the profit from the hospital. And a bad doctor for them could be one who keeps patients out because he's healing them, and vice versa. It's all about who's perceiving, who's asking, and what is their data set, like what is their ideology. Ideologies shape people's perceptions, and perceptions shape people's actions, So that was a little like intro for my Virgos out here. I know I gave y'all like a little intro to that, but let's go ahead and see exactly what it is that's happening for you guys. Let's see what's happening for you guys. If you guys are interested in getting a reading or booking one with me, I'm back on my spiritual snaps. So if you want to, just go ahead and check the link in my bio on my profile for my information. or the information down below. And if you guys are watching me on here, please go and follow my YouTube, because I'm gonna really transition into more live streaming on YouTube, you guys. Okay, so if you guys are watching me on here and you want a reading right now, just go on my YouTube and I'll do a reading for you. But you gotta chat in the chat if you want that reading. All right. But otherwise, I appreciate you guys tuning in. All right, so let me jump back into Virgo. Yeah, y'all, I feel like for my Virgo placements, y'all really need to step into y'all feminine energy. You get me? I feel like there's been a very heavy stance on you guys utilizing your masculine energy, whether or not it was due to circumstances or your environment where you had to kind of take on a more masculine persona to kind of cope with your environment. But quite honestly, I feel like the spirit is really kind of trying to get you into a level of femininity, instead of exerting, being in a receiving energy, receiving energy. Yeah, so I feel like the reason why you overexert yourself, because there is a level of pattern recognition when it comes to past kind of financial woes or past scenarios that have not yielded what it is that you want. A lot of times for my Virgos, y'all really need to utilize the past as a means to kind of know what not to do, so that you can move on and move forward with decisions that are more coherent to what it is that you're trying to do. So not every person that maybe stole from you that has that personality, if you meet that personality again, doesn't mean that that personality is going to steal from you. But what you can do is utilize the experiences of a previous personality to see whether or not these are kind of cues of this happening. Judging right off the bat just because of a similar personality, personality doesn't really dictate a lot of times the actions. It might give you a reference point, but that reference point will allow you to kind of know how cautious or how kind of quickly you need to kind of delegate. And that goes across the board, picking a point of perception on how you want to perceive this person and your discernment. Let me see what else is here. Yeah, I feel like for a lot of my Virgos, this is 4 of Coins. I feel like for a lot of my Virgos, I think you're trying to find kind of a level of purpose or passion. So there could be kind of a longing for a spark or something that's going to get your motors running again. And I'm seeing a lot of being going to events, going to gatherings, going to things that people invite you to, but it's just not hitting like it used to. It's not giving what it used to give. This is kind of going back to old coping mechanisms and trying to induce what you got over the last time you felt this way. I feel like the universe is gonna tell you this is not the way that you're going to be able to process this kind of feeling that you're having right now. What you're going to have to do is just really allow kind of the tower to kind of crumble, so that a new value system or foundation can be built. Because you're wanting to definitely not be so assertive. It's you can say all you want about being intuitive or knowing what everything, but knowing and doing are two different things. You get me? And knowledge is just one aspect of intellect. The other aspect is intelligence. There's a lot of smart, dumb people out here, y'all. You get me? Being smart is just you knowing a bunch of information. You know a bunch of facts. But unless you have the intellect or the intelligence to be able to utilize those facts or data, what you have is just kind of a huge pool of information that you don't know how to correlate or string together to help or benefit your levels of perception. So I think with my Virgos, it's just really kind of, tapping in, it's really kind of just tapping into your childlike emotional wonder, things that used to like really induce kind of like a safe space for you. I know my Virgos go through a lot of like trauma at a young age, you get me? Things that we can't really speak on, but you have to allow yourself to like get over the hump that is like the situation that's happened to you, even though it's grand in scope. We get it, but it's whether or not you're going to continue being in a space of victimness, or are you going to utilize that kind of experience and transcend and break that barrier of feeling like a victim and being a victor, where you utilize experience to catapult you further than you would have gone had you not had it, you know? So I think really allowing yourself to really think over the decisions and the impulsive things that you may have done, opportunities that you didn't take, you know. Allow yourself to get over those things so that these new kind of opportunities, when they do arise, you react in a different format. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So you, Virgo, as someone who is so articulate and so smart, should understand that patterns are patterns, but what shape them are anomalies. So if you understand the mechanic of anomaly, what is a pattern? You get me? You get what I'm saying? So just kind of allow yourself to just be still and not be so assertive or action oriented when it comes to the things that you believe are true. I think in all actuality, you've been given kind of like a means to go somewhere or move away from a situation. You're like, the universe keeps providing you with these opportunities to do so, but you're not taking them. So I would suggest that you utilize the insights that have been given to you, you know, that have given you a new sense of ideology, the Hierophant. Nobody knows everything, you get me? To know everything is to get to the end of infinity, you know? Infinity is perpetual creation. So what we have is premature understanding. So if you, on a consistent basis, find yourself feeling like you know everything, then humble yourself with that simple fact of knowing that unless you've gotten to the end of time, bitch, you don't know anything. What you know is premature understanding, you know? Tell somebody in the 1800s, I can make metal fly, they'll look at you crazy. Tell somebody now that you can make metal fly and they'll look at you like you're crazy, because they'll be like, yeah, planes do that every day. Time is what separates things from being true and not true, you know? But that's what I have for my Virgos, right? Virgos. Whew. Okay. All right. Who do we have in the chat? Because like nobody is liking my stuff on my chat. Hello everyone. If you are in the chat, go ahead and double tap the screen. I would appreciate it. Okay. So I said I was gonna do the earth signs. So the earth signs. Okay, guys. So the next sign that we're going to do right now is we did Virgo, so now we're gonna do Capricorn. For my Caps out there, we're gonna go ahead and jump right into it, bitch. Okay. I just said, I heard somebody's phone ringing. All right, so this is for my Caps, my Capricorns, my abuelos and abuelas. Yeah. 9 of Swords. 4, 6, 8, 9. 9 of Swords. 8 of Wands. Okay. 9 of Wands. Oh, excuse me, okay. That feels so much better, literally. Okay. What are we at? 8%. Okay. All right, Capricorn. So we have the 9 of Swords, we have the 8 of Wands, and then we have the 9 of Wands. This is giving me very much overthinking a scenario that you yourself have wanted to induce, but in doing so, like, it's like it's like this energy is very similar to you shooting your shot to someone. So let's say you've been kind of like applying to somewhere and you get the job. You know, it's being within that job and feeling like an imposter, being very defensive as to why'd you get it, who's around you, like why are they watching you, why are they, you know, being overly defensive over things that like are non-existent. Let me see what else this is. This has to do with like a way, like a ideology or a way that you think. So this could be like a way that you're thinking. Yeah, King of Swords. So this could be kind of what you're saying. So I don't know what you've been kind of like vocalizing, but it's definitely been hitting its mark, and in turn, it's been putting you in kind of like a defensive mode. So whatever you've been articulating, this could be things that you've been wanting to do or things that you've been, you know, wanting to try. Yeah, five of Swords. So this is kind of self-inducing when it comes to overthinking the decision that you're wanting to make. It's like it's been made, but it's more or less your agreeance to it. You're basing it off people's reaction to it, when in actuality you should be okay or all right with the decision that you're making, and not really so much relying on someone else. But let's see what else. Tower inverse. Let's get some clarifiers. Check here. So this could be you wanting to let go of someone. Yeah, I feel like for a lot of my Capricorns, they may be financially responsible for someone, or having to kind of make a decision on maybe an expense or a luxury that they've been putting a lot of time and money. That's what Saturn energy is. Yeah, time and money. King of Coins. Time and money. Time and money. So, oh, wow. I flipped all of that. Yeah. These decisions. Spirit, I'm not taking all these cards. It's just we need coherency. Alright. What does this decision have to do with anything, y'all? You can't avoid the inevitable, Capricorn. You can't avoid the inevitable. So what is that? What is the inevitable, Spirit? Put some context to this. All right. I think for my Capricorns, there really needs to be an articulation to what it is that you're saying. So I think for someone in the collective, this is you not really vocalizing coherently what it is that you're wanting to do. But I definitely do see you doing so, and in doing so, it's going to kind of like put you in a direction where you're able to really create within your ideologies or the things that you've been like wanting to do. There's a Queen of this kind of like pathway definitely involves a feminine, very direct energy. Very feminine, direct energy. My phone's about to die. Okay, so yes. Let me wrap this up. I definitely do see kind of I see an individual. See an individual coming in really fast, Capricorn. But the information or the message that they're trying to tell you, you're kind of like, it's like blocked in some way. Like you're not getting it, or there is kind of, you're not receiving it. What is that? Clarity on, yeah. I feel like there's an individual that wants to work with you, that wants to kind of like build with you. But there is something that's not allowing the communication to get to you. What's stopping the communication, Spirit? Knight of Wands. I think you're stopping yourself. I feel like you're not, there's something that you're not allowing yourself to go towards or shoot your shot at. Yeah, because Eight of Swords. It's like overthinking a situation that you don't need to. The circumstance is going to play out a lot more favorable than you think. What's the circumstance, Spirit? What's the circumstance? I think definitely, wow. There is a sense of clarity that's going to be coming in from a conversation that you're going to be given the opportunity for. I think whatever kind of ghosting that's been done when it comes to you, Capricorn, I think the clarity that you're going to be getting from this is going to be kind of, it's going to be, hold on, you guys. It's going to be something that gives you a sense of direction and something to celebrate. But what is this Queen of Cups inversed with the Emperor? Something did not work out for an individual. Yeah. I think there's going to be a gesture of emotional kind of like initiation, but it's not what you're wanting as an emotional fulfillment, even though for the individual that's offering this, it's deemed as such. All right, so for my Capricorn, dropping this up, yeah, I think this person is reminiscing on a past scenario or a past situation, when in actuality, that's just not the case anymore. Just think, yeah. Knight of Swords, Three of Wands. I think this person is definitely contemplating wanting to kind of establish some kind of connection or working together kind of thing. But Capricorn, that's your reading. All right. Now, you guys, my phone and iPad's about to die, so I'm gonna wrap up with Taurus, and then later on tonight I'm gonna come on and do the air signs and the fire signs. Okay. So this first half is the water signs and the earth signs, okay? So let's see what Taurus is up to. So my Taurus placements out here. Taurus placements. Taurus, the builders, the vibrato. Okay, let's see what's going on with my Tauruses. Yep, clarity on direction for sure for my Tauruses. This is for Taurus. All right, yeah, clarity for sure. I feel like for a lot of my Tauruses, they're coming off of maybe a collaboration that's been very draining. Something that's been draining, that's put them in a stasis of resting, or contemplating and rejuvenating one's body and self. I think a sense of direction when it comes to destiny has been achieved, and a stasis of rest is currently what a lot of my Tauruses are going towards, so that they're given the energy to kind of accomplish what it is that they're wanting to do. Yeah, there's a sense of wanting to kind of like leave a poverty mindset or reoccurring kind of loops. And I believe that loop is being more in the feminine when it comes to attracting, being one who receives. I'm getting a sense for a lot of my Tauruses, the moon came out inverse. There is a lack of masculinity or masculine expressiveness when it comes to a lot of my Taurus placements. And that's not a dig. We are a mix of all of these energies. But as of late, or as of currently for the people that I'm reading in the collective right now, it's really kind of tapping into more of your masculine expressiveness, and that could be you developing more of a dynamic with a father, or not holding in so many grudges when it comes to the feminines in your life. Because a lot of times when feminines leave scars or leave traumas, a lot of times the persons who are at the receiving end of that start enacting the very traumas that they themselves endured, and are expressing or being within their feminine when they're not even realizing it, because they're expressing attributes that their mother in themselves projected, So I'm getting a very heavy sense that I feel like an epiphany has been brought about when it comes to that, the correlation of that. Yeah, I feel like that is what the rest period is being kind of utilized for. It's really developing a more healthy perception of the feminine, the mother, and really embodying the masculine on a divine level and not so much a stereotypical level. I know for a lot of my Tauruses out here, my Taurus placements, they like to equate masculinity with attributes that are physical and that you can see. Remember, Taurus is it's an earth sign. So it deals with things that are tangible. Its value system is set on things that are tangible. Just like a fire signs, their value is set on their ego, whereas a air sign, their value is more or less set on their intellect. For a earth signs in general, a lot of times their value is set on physicality, things that you can touch, feel, taste, things that utilize the senses, so sometimes Tauruses get in a kind of stereotypical kind of expression of masculine energy, where going to the gym, being jacked up, that being their way of expressing the masculine energy within them. But in this era, they're finding out that that expressiveness is just very surface, when a lot of the persons in this day and age are more emotionally intelligent, so they're wanting depth. Is your strength and your vibrato and your frame coming from an urgency of protection or urgency of validation of something that you innately don't have, a characteristic trait that you don't have, but you're utilizing muscles as a means to kind of like do the work for you when it comes to people perceiving you? You get me? So now we're kind of like entering that kind of phase, and I feel like for a lot of my Tauruses, that realization is kind of like allowing them the emotional growth needed for them to kind of like make decisions that are authentic. Hello, you get me? High Priestess. So this is kind of like really getting down to the nitty-gritty on a interdimensional way of really being like, okay, I really need to like restructure and reformulate my value system when it comes to what I want to project and what it is I want to represent, when these surface level archetypes aren't really sufficing for the experiences and feelings of myself that I want to induce. Okay, so I'm gonna put one more card before this thing shuts off on me. Okay, just plug it in, Kevin. Like, why are you? Okay, now we're good. All right. So yeah, you guys, High Priestess came out. So I think this is an inner knowing. I think this is what this rest is being utilized for. Like a lot of you guys have come up with this epiphany, so now you're just kind of like resting and allowing yourself the means to kind of like get over this kind of stuckness. Six of Swords inverse, stuck. Not taking the initiatives needed for you to enact what it is that you're projecting. This could be an opportunity, this could be a job, this could be a business idea. A lot of inverse cards for you guys. It's like inverse, and then I'm looking at the bottom just to make sure that I don't have it flipped over, and it's not, it's correct. The word card at the bottom. So I feel like you not enacting these ideas that you're having, Taurus, you're not allowing the universe to take you into new like perspectives and like vantage points of your experience. Turn your stubbornness off. But that's just an earth sign trait. Capricorn and Virgo have these same traits, but expressed differently. Taurus is the baby earth sign, Virgo is the middle child, and Capricorn is the abuelo or abuela. All right, so we have 8 of coins. So there is a kind of sense of working. So we need to start kind of like doing what needs to be done so that these ideas can be actualized. So talking less and saying more is going to be an attribute that one should, adhere to if you're wanting to kind of actualize what it is you're wanting to. Yeah. Knight of Cups. I feel like a lot of times, Venus ruled signs know a lot of the time Venus ruled signs like Libra and Taurus, which are ruled by Venus, have kind of an innate idea as to what stimulates or appeals to the persons within this plane. Libra more on the intellectual mindscape space, and Taurus with the more physicality and inducing of senses when it comes to Venus and its beauty expressed within those two signs. So for you, I feel like you have a very for my Tauruses, you got a very high emotional intellect, but it doesn't gauge character. That just tells me you have a very strong prowess when it comes to emotional intelligence. But what are you utilizing that for? Are you setting traps for individuals, or are you utilizing it to kind of grow and expand your perceptions, you know? Being the baby of the earth signs, think of a baby that gets into a candy store. The candy store, you know, experience in life gives us the kind of perceptions of taking our time and not eating all the candy at once or eating so much. You know, Tauruses have that energy when it comes to, you know, things within this plane, things that stimulate our senses, good smells, good food, good physicality, good sensuality. Like, these are things that, if not taken in equilibrium for Tauruses, could have them on the other side of that energy where it becomes deviant, if that makes sense. All right, so yeah, I think you guys are kind of getting to a point where you're trying to overcome yourself. Yeah, you're trying to overcome yourself and the caring of others and what they believe about you and what they think about you. But knowing those things and taking the actions to change your circumstance are two different things. Okay? So there is definitely an evaluation of what one wants. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, what one wants. But what are you gonna do now? You know? What card do we have? I'm gonna try my other deck for clarification, and then I'm gonna round off this. Yeah, I think you guys are on your leader stuff right now, but it's kind of just, see, the 3 of Coins came out, Ace of Cups. I think for a lot of my Tauruses, there's been circumstances where they feel like they've fucked up, but I think a lot of the times things come with humility, and with circumstances, the universe is never holding things back from you. You get me? It's really yourself, you know? It's really taking the initiative to humble oneself and just really take the opportunities that the universe presents itself with. Whether it be a person, whether it be a place, whether it be a job, whether it be kind of like a idea that, you know, gives you the platform to do so. You know, it's just really kind of understanding your circumstance and seeing what the fuck is up. Literally, Ace of Cups. I think there's an offer that's been wanting to be vocalized and said, you know. It's really up to Taurus to take the lead, you know, and not take very deviant routes to try to induce what could be easily done by a simple conversation. Conversation, not manipulation. All right, Tauruses? All right, yeah. Confirmation, period. All right, on that note, you guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys staying on. I'm probably going to be on later on tonight with a different type of vibe. But nonetheless, thank you guys so much for tuning in. And if you're wanting a private reading from me, just go ahead and check out the bio, which has all my links and the timestamps that I'm going to do once I get off of this. But yeah, take care. Peace.